This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
The following episode of Charlotte Cooks is brought to you by Central Piedmont Community College and viewers like you. Thank you.
Coming up on this episode of Charlotte Cooks, we have Chef Gene Kato from Upstream joining us, and he's cooking up some absolutely delicious yakitori. Stay tuned. Welcome to Charlotte Cooks. We have a whole new look and a whole new format, and I just can't wait to share it with you. Instead of me being on the set all by myself, we are now making Charlotte Cooks about Charlotte. We are bringing in Charlotte chefs, and our first chef we have joining us today is Chef Gene Kato from Upstream Restaurant, and he's going to be cooking some delicious yakitori for us. Gene, hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So glad you could be
me.
here.
I'm excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be making for us today.
Yeah, so today we're going to demonstrate yakitori,
Okay.
which is one of the oldest ways of Japanese cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of history behind it, but really excited to showcase
Good.
Japanese chicken.
Yakitori is one of
Yakitori.
my absolute favorite Japanese dishes. It's so good.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
I can't wait to see how you make it.
Yakitori actually didn't start till later on in Japanese history. 16 to the 1800s, it was taboo to eat meat. That's why you see in Japanese recipes, a lot of it is fish, vegetable, and obviously rice. During the 1900s is when Japanese started utilizing meats.
Okay.
You know, chicken, wild game, things like that. What we're presenting today is obviously yakitori, and what yakitori means is grilled chicken.
Okay.
So traditionally speaking, it's only chicken.
Right.
And then, but what we do is we break down the chicken into different parts to showcase the flavor and textures of each
And you're
chicken.
going to show us that, aren't
Yes,
you?
we're going to
Good.
do that. Yeah.
All right,
so
good.
the first recipe I wanted to show was the chicken marinade. We have jalapeno, which is obviously non-Japanese, but it does a great flavor. Finishing flavoring aspect to the marinade. And then we have shiso here, Japanese mint leaf or perilla. It's got a lot of aroma to it. Shichimi togarashi, it's a Japanese 7 spice, so it's a blend of 7 spices. And also with this recipe we have sansho, which is a Japanese pepper. It's in the Szechuan peppercorn family. Ground black pepper, garlic, obviously jalapeno. But the important thing about marinades for me is that all the ingredients are really fine, right? So this, when you make the ingredients really fine, it really penetrates into the ingredients.
All the flavors are released more.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
great,
And then a lot,
great.
especially with grilling, when you leave things in big chunky pieces, they
Yes.
tend to burn rather than melt into
Ah, that's a good
the
tip.
protein.
That's
Yeah,
a good tip
yeah.
for any kind of marinade and grilling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have this tool, which is
Okay.
also very important.
This is a Japanese tool.
This is a Japanese tool. This is
Okay.
called an oroshigani. Traditionally, it has 2 different teeth on there. One is for a little bit rougher texture, and then the other one is for really fine. So for the jalapeno, I use the rough texture side of the grater. And then we want to do this in a circular motion, right? So you get even size pulp from the vegetable, and this particularly being jalapeno. And then we grate the seeds and everything for this particular recipe.
Okay.
And then for the garlic, we're going to use the finer side. And obviously this is going to create same motion, circular motion, and then this is going to create a finer texture. So it's not necessarily puree. There's still a little bit of texture left, but it's soft enough where it's going to melt into
Right.
the chicken.
Now, if they didn't have the special grater at home, could they use a microplane?
You could use a microplane, and a microplane you're still going to get shreds.
Right, because it's not so fine.
Exactly. So I would recommend to either put it into like a Vita mix,
okay,
you
all
know,
right,
to get it
right.
really, really fine. And then what I like to do as well with almost every marinade is to make the marinade ahead of time, so it has time to fuse
meld
together,
and, yes,
exactly, all
marry
together,
and all
marinate
those
together
things,
before
yes.
you add the ingredients. Because
Yes.
if you just make it fresh and then you add the ingredients to it, the oil hasn't been flavored yet with all the ingredients that you're adding in.
Now, what kind of oil
So
are you
this
using?
is soybean oil,
Okay.
which is a neutral flavored oil. So that way, all the ingredients that you're adding into The oil is the focus.
Now, how far ahead would you suggest making this to allow all those flavors to fully marry?
I would recommend maybe 2 days in the refrigerator.
All right.
Yeah, I mean 1 day is good as well. Yeah. But trust me, it's well
But it
worth
lasts,
it. Yes.
doesn't it?
And it lasts as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we have our marinade. We're going to do a very classical yakitori sauce, which is called tare.
Okay.
Right, which is a glaze basically. But we're going to take this recipe and use techniques to make it more full flavor, full-bodied flavor.
All right. And you need roasted chicken bones for that, don't
roasted
you?
chicken bones.
We
so
got
I have
those in
some
the
chicken
oven.
bones here. So obviously you don't have to roast the chicken bones, but roasting the chicken bones, right, really intensifies. Yeah, it does. It intensifies the flavor of the chicken. And for yakitori, that's the ultimate goal, is really getting that chicken flavor up front and exciting to our guests. The chicken bones, really simple recipe.
Stock pot.
Stock pot, yes.
Very easy.
Very easy. So we're going to add the chicken bones.
When you are actually buying the whole chickens to make this dish, you can actually cut the breasts, the legs and thighs off, and then use all the bones left from the chicken to make your sauce.
Exactly.
And since you're making your marinade 2 days ahead of time, go ahead and fabricate your chicken ahead of time as well, so you can actually get your sauce made, and then when you come down to the actual making of the yakitori, it is just out of this world. Now, you want to tell them about these ingredients?
Sake is rice wine. Meading is sugar that's added to the fermentation process with the rice wine.
So this is what a typical label will look like, and it's called sweet cooking rice seasoning. Okay, so this is what you're looking for the mirin. And then there's sake. For this, you're highly recommending a dry sake.
A dry sake, yes. This is really simple at this point. We're going to add our sake and meading to the pot.
Don't you love it? A stock made with wine.
You can tell with the meading, because of the sugar that's added to it, the viscosity.
It's more syrup-like.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, and then we're going to add the flavorings. So for my recipe, we use Tokyo negi, or these are scallions, the Japanese scallions. And then this is the togarashi pepper that I was talking to you about.
They look a lot like the Thai little bird chilies. Are they similar?
But not as spicy.
Okay,
Definitely a lot less spicier and more smoky.
Okay, more smoky.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We're going to add the chilies in there, and then our whole garlic cloves.
Oh, a whole bunch of them too. Yes.
We got about like 12. Bring this up to a boil. For this particular recipe, sake in particular tends to have a bitter finish.
Right.
We don't burn it off. So we want to burn it off. And then once it's alcohol is burned off, then we fill it back up with water.
Okay.
Yeah, and equal the volume of bones that you have.
Gotcha. So do you have to cover the bones like about an inch or so with that water?
With the water, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And then once that starts to reduce, right, and then all the impurities come up, then we want to skim it, right, and then at that point, that's when we're going to add the soy sauce and the brown sugar. And then we want to let it reduce. Usually it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. Nice and slow, and I like to cover it. So when the sauce is done, the consistency of the sauce should look something like this.
Oh, that looks wonderful.
Right, so it's slightly holds onto the back of the spoon, but it's still watery, and that's really important because we don't want to create a sauce that just sticks to the outside. I want to be able to get this sauce penetrating into the chicken breast that we're using it for as it's cooking. Okay. So more of this flavor is inside the chicken rather than just the outside flavor. Okay. So the great thing about yakitori, obviously we're utilizing every part of the chicken, but it showcases the different flavors and textures of each part of the chicken. So for today, we have the chicken breast, or tenderloin, right? We have chicken breast, we have chicken thigh, the chicken wing, and then we have the hearts and gizzards. All right. Now, hearts and gizzards are very popular for yakitori.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, how, okay.
Great texture,
Aren't they
great flavor.
Chewy?
They are. The gizzards are a little chewy. The heart has more of a meaty aspect to it. Okay. But as you know, Asian cuisine texture is just as important as flavor.
Absolutely.
And the chicken is nice and dry too. You want to use a fresh chicken. Okay. Right? Because if you use a frozen chicken, when it defrosts, a lot of the moisture, which is a flavor in the chicken, is released, and you lose all that flavor. So when you get a fresh chicken, the flavors are maintained into the chicken. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to separate the wing joint and the drumette of the wing joint. And the chicken is pretty easy because it has a natural cartilage on the joint. So I'm gonna break this down like so, okay? And then
The pieces that you use here, are these all boneless pieces? Or
these are all boneless,
Okay.
yes. Okay. Except this one. This one I want to show. It's my own technique of serving chicken wings.
Okay.
A little bit different than tradition, but
Okay.
it's infusing traditional techniques.
And isn't that what cooking's all about, really? I mean, we take the techniques that are traditional and we give a modern spin to it always, because that's how we keep things moving forward. And
Correct.
just exciting.
And for this, you know, nothing's changed. It's still just the chicken, but it's just a technique and process that's changed. And I think that's the great part of being an artist.
Absolutely,
Right? Is
yeah.
You improve on your knowledge. You know,
Absolutely.
and it's still homage to the tradition that started it all. So the first thing, before I separate the breast from the carcass, I take off the wishbone. And this is important because if you leave the wishbone, you will cut off more of the chicken breast.
Yes,
Right, because you have to
absolutely.
cut around the bone. So then we have the breast, and now we have the thigh. And the thigh, I'm going to just separate the bone.
Now, one of the reasons you ran your knife around that leg bone like that is because there's so many tendons holding all those little muscle pieces together.
Correct.
When you run that knife around, it's going to separate them and it's going to come off easier.
So we're just going to separate it without cutting into.
Now, there's probably 1,000 people out there saying, I wish I could cut down a chicken as fast as you've just done that.
Practice. A lot of practice.
Yeah. The students get practice of that in school, and you know what? It goes a long way. So
It does. So we have the drumette section of the thigh, and then we have the thigh itself, right? So for this particular cut, we're going to trim off and make nice sized portions with the thigh,
Make
like
them
so.
nice and
Yep,
even.
nice and even, so it cooks
Okay.
evenly on the grill.
Okay.
And then with this leftover, we're going to mince it up, and we're going to make tsukune, which
That's
is
what this is over here.
correct.
Okay.
Which is another traditional application of using showcasing on the yakitori.
Okay.
Now, and it's a great way of utilizing the other cuts that you're not putting on the grill.
All right.
And then I have hearts and gizzards. The ones that I received are pretty clean. They're about 3/4 already clean for me. But the one thing that you do want to consider, if they're not this clean, there's going to be a membrane on the heart that you want to make sure that you pull off.
Okay.
And then we want to cut off all of the, I don't know the technical term, but they're just the chambers which the blood flow into the heart.
Okay.
Right? So you want to cut that off. But
Okay.
most importantly, you want to, if you see on here, you see this fat
Oh, yes, I
that
do
goes
see
around
that,
it.
yeah.
So we want to keep that on there because that's going to add moisture
That's
and flavor
flavor.
as
Yep.
we grill. Okay?
Okay.
So with the heart, I'll just demonstrate the way the blood flows into the heart. There's a lot of blood vessels, right? So it creates these crevices, if you can see inside.
Places to hold sauce.
Right, exactly. But for cleaning, a lot of times there'll still be blood that's left in the heart that
Okay.
you want to be able to remove
out.
easily this way. And then we have gizzards, which we talked to you about earlier.
Yeah,
that
right.
has a chewy texture,
Right.
but really nice. So it has this outside membrane that's really tough, and we would just want to, basically you just want to follow underneath it and then kind of
So just
slide
scrape
it
it
off,
off.
scrape it off.
All right.
And then the leftover with the hearts, gizzard, and the byproduct of the thigh, we mince it really finely, and this is what this is. So it's called tsukune. So we have the richness of the chicken thigh, because if you minced up the chicken breast, it's very lean, right? So not going to have as much flavor. So the thigh is the best, and then the gizzards and the heart is going to add more flavor and
Okay.
texture
Okay.
to the filling.
So are we ready to cook yet?
We are almost ready. What I want to
Okay.
do before we start cooking, I want to fill our chicken wings. Remember, I talked to you earlier
Oh,
about
you
my
fill
own.
them.
Yeah, so I want to fill the chicken wings with our tsukune. And the skin is all in there too, so this is all going to melt
So do you chop this up with a knife, or do you put it in a
This one,
Roboku
yeah, with
or
a
food
knife. Knife
processor?
is best.
Okay.
You know, you don't want a puree texture.
Okay, you want chunky texture.
You want chunky texture, but really small, almost like a sausage. You know how
Okay.
sausage is
Yes.
ground, but it's
Right.
not pureed.
Right.
And then this is in a pastry bag to make it easy for piping. Thank you. So I've separated the two wings.
Right.
And then pull the bones out.
Right.
Yes. And so it gives
Use a
me
little
ho-
pocket.
Yes, exactly. And this, we fill it back up so it looks like it was just like so.
Oh, look it. There you go.
The meat from the wing is still left in there. You know, this just only adds.
It's enhanced.
Yeah, enhanced, exactly.
I love it. And now we're going to skewer our chicken and get ready to cook. So Jane, tell us what we're going to do next.
Okay, so like you said, we're going to skewer. I'm using two types of skewers today. This one is called a hiragushi.
Okay.
Okay.
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Okay.
Is thicker, right? So it's going to be sturdier. And then we have another bamboo skewer, which is like typical bamboo skewer.
These are the kind you find in the grocery store.
Exactly. But you want to try to find one that's a little bit sturdier, not too thin.
Right.
You want it to be able to hold the protein
Right.
on there. And then one thing I do in advance is I soak it in water.
Yes. Did you use salt water?
No, just
regular
regular
plain
water.
water?
Yeah, plain water. Make sure it's clean water.
Does it have to be hot or cold?
Cold.
Okay.
Yep. And then after about 6 hours, I take it out and just let it dry up again.
Okay.
But this will keep the skewers from burning
When they get
on the grill.
grill.
Exactly. So for the chicken breast, we have here, and as you see, this is actually one breast that I cut into three pretty
Chicken-
evenly
yes.
sized,
Yes.
right? So I can get a good yield out of it.
Right.
But also this, the shape that I've cut it, you can see this triangular shape. The point is going to go onto the grill where there's the least amount of heat.
Okay. So it
So-
cooks, because it'll cook the fastest.
It cooks the
Right.
fastest, but it cooks more evenly because the hotter part of the grill is going to be the top part. So
Right.
it's going to cook evenly. If this was thick down here, by the time this was done,
That
the
would be
bottom
burned.
would be underdone.
Right.
Okay, so the way we skewer, we want to skewer, make sure we get the skin connected to the meat. And this one, very simply, we're just going to go straight in and then make sure I capture the skin on the other end. So that's this. And the chicken thigh, I have the chicken thigh that's already marinated here, ready to go. And then for this, we're going to use the hiragushi, right, which is the sturdier skewer.
Okay.
And the same technique, we're going to go make sure we get the skin. But this one, we want to kind of use this in and out. So the reason for this, if you see, it creates these pockets.
Right.
So as it cooks, it's going to suspend the juice longer than if I were to do it straight. Because if it was
Okay.
straight, every time I turn it over, the juice just falls
Okay.
to the bottom. So this is going to ensure that I get moisture.
Now, who
more
figured
moisture.
that out?
But this is what I mean, practice.
Okay, you did that. All right.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so then we have all of our parts here. Going back to our grill, we want to make sure that the grill is a nice, even temperature.
And also, this is your typical kind of grill. What kind of grill is this?
So this is called a konro grill.
Okay.
And this is a portable grill that's used to do robata cooking. And then the other offshoot of robata is Yakitori, which specializes in chicken.
Okay. And you've got a very unique kind of charcoal here. So tell
Yes,
us about that. Because
right.
look at this. It looks like petrified wood.
It is petrified wood.
It
So
is
we have
petrified
two
wood.
different types. They're
that
both
around
white charcoal.
Okay.
This is called aramaru, which is
Okay.
more of a rough cut
Okay.
of the tree, right?
These.
Yep. But this is great to start your fire. And then we use this one, which is binchotan, which
Okay.
a lot of people are familiar with. Now this one, as you can see, they pick out specific size branches. When you put it on the grill, you get a very even heat.
Because I noticed they're
control
all
it.
the same size.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, which
Okay.
is very important. And this alone is an artisanal product. Before we put it on the grill, we want to season everything. So we're going to use just a little bit of salt.
Just regular salt?
Regular salt. Sea salt is great as well.
Okay.
You know, seasoning is very important because depending on the ingredient and your preference, right? You want to be able to, salt is going to extract more flavor.
Absolutely, it is.
Then I also have sansho, but the sansho I'm only going to use for the offals because it has a little bit bolder flavor, and this is going to help kind of balance that flavor out.
Okay.
Okay? And now we're going to go on the grill. I'm going to go with the thicker portions on the hotter side of the grill, and we're going to go skin side down first.
Skin down.
Skin down. And this is so that the grill is coated with the fat of the skin,
Okay.
so it's less likely to stick.
Now that doesn't have skin. You just put it on there?
This one we're just going to put straight on there. Yep.
All right.
And then for the gizzards, we're going to put it at a medium-high.
Okay. So do you have this zoned out for a cooler area, a hotter area?
Exactly. So this is
Okay.
cooler for
Okay.
slow cooking a lot slower.
Okay.
You know, and this is hotter, and then I'm going to rotate onto the area that it needs to be placed on. Right. So the idea, you don't want to burn, but we want the skin crispy before when the meat is finished. And so the rotation, which you'll see a lot with yakitori cooking, is that there's a lot of rotating to ensure that it cooks evenly. So I get a
Okay.
crispy skin, but the flesh underneath is
Okay.
nice and soft.
And so if someone at home didn't have this, they could use their regular gas grill or a charcoal grill outside for this and just have one side with a burner on and one side with a burner
You
off
can do that,
kind of thing?
yeah. That's
Okay.
a great idea. No, it looks very simple. Obviously, the steps are pretty basic, but cooking, right, the finishing aspect, there's a lot of art to it. And so the rotating, if I just rotate this chicken thigh from the skin and underneath the skin, then it's going to overcook on one side. So we want to put it on its side, like so, and then I use the other chicken to kind of hold it up there. For the breast and the tenderloin, now I have, as you can see, it's seared nicely on, you know, it's cooked on all sides. We're going to dip it into the tare.
You just take it and the tare
And you
is
can
that
see,
sauce
it's just
that we
barely
made.
on there. It's a little watery,
Oh.
but this is going to penetrate into the ingredient as it's cooking.
If you were to go to Upstream and order yakitori, they would get it prepared just like this with the long sauce and the marinade and the
Yes, we do. We
Okay.
do. We have certain things that are in the marinade. We have other items like our lamb chops, and that's
Ooh.
marinated in red miso.
Okay.
Right? Because as we know, lamb has a little bit bolder flavor, so that helps offset the flavor of the lamb. Okay, so Pamela, I think our hearts and gizzards are ready. Nice and crispy on the outside.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
Juicy on the inside there. So we have our hearts and gizzard.
Oh, look
Okay,
at this.
so this chicken thigh, you see the marinade actually helps the
Yes.
skin to get really crispy.
Yes.
And that's another purpose of that marinade. And this one,
Yes.
I'm gonna serve, because the chicken thigh is a little rich.
Okay.
We're gonna serve it with a slice of lemon to kind of cut down that richness. And they get to enjoy the two flavors,
Oh,
just with
good.
the salt or with the lemon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so we have the chicken thigh there. I think our wings are ready as well. Let's make sure it's cooked through. And this one is rich, so we're going to add lemon for this as well. All right, so you can see it's getting nice and caramelized.
Yum.
Yes. And still juicy. All right, so we're going to put this in the tare one more time.
Okay.
And then also another important thing with the tare, what you want to make sure that you do is that after you use it, the next time you use it, you want to bring it up to a full boil.
Because you have had partially cooked chicken in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You wouldn't put raw chicken in it, but partially cooked. And so you do have to treat that as if
Yes.
it's got some contamination in it. So bring it up to a boil first to make sure that it's safe to keep using. Gene, this looks absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
I can't wait to try it. I hope you guys try it also. And our recipes are all going to be on our website at pbscharlotte.org. So please make sure you try it. If you have any questions, pop me an email. Not that I can answer as great as Gene can, but nonetheless, Gene, it's been wonderful having you
It's
here
been a
today.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you guys, thank you for tuning into this episode of Charlotte Cooks, and we'll catch you next time.
A production of PBS Charlotte.